All right. Week 5 is upon us. We've got street stocks at Lime Rock. Going to be a grand old time. These guys are having quite the little battle right here. A little fender bumping already in practice. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers tonight so far. Should be quite the show. Gotta set some stuff up in the back here. That was a great start. Set some stuff up in the background really quick, folks. So sit tight. Yeah, thanks, Sean. Good to see you, buddy. Wish you were in this. You probably have a lot of fun with these guys. Gonna set some stuff up in the background here real quick. And I'll come back on the mic here when we get our driver's briefing. So be right back.
Yikes. Good racing, though.
Time to copy your lap, bruh. I got a notification, then wants us to go to the thingy.
I just start. Oh,
Joke's on you, I'm already there.
I just started it. Sorry, guys. I had to step away to the restroom there for a minute. But yes, driver's briefing would be cool if you came over there like as soon as you can. Please, thank you.
Oh, come.
So, for those that might be watching that don't have any idea what's going on, we're watching all the cars line up in pit road, but we have a Discord chat that I'm going to be talking into now on the side that is going to um, essentially be the holdings place for all of us to chat pre-race about some of the rules and regs of the race and how everything's going to go, all yada yada, and so on and so forth. So these guys can't talk over me. I can invite them up to speak once we get through the briefing. We'll advance session, and they'll be off into their 2-lap qualifying, and that'll be a great time. So sit tight for a couple more moments, and we'll have more cars making vroom noises here in a second.
The top four could wreck, you know? That'd be great.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to ask Sheriff to shush. It's driver's briefing time. I think all of my ducks are lined up in a row, as they say. All the cars are on pit road, looking nice and shiny as always. Good stuff. Welcome, gentlemen. Week 5. Welcome, Jacob. Your first week. Welcome back, Harrison, from forever ago. And welcome to all of my other regulars or semi-regulars. So tonight's Lime Rock, obviously, if you got it far enough to turn 1, you would realize that it's not all left turns. There's some of those right ones, too, that are really tricky, come up fast. So pace yourself. Take your time tonight getting the tires warmed up. 40 laps. It's a long time. and the only thing that you're gonna do pushing yourself early is make the mistakes that you're gonna, not be able to unbury yourself from, essentially. So, um, but we have our normal incident system where I'm placing warnings on drivers for causing cautions. Obviously, we won't have full course yellows tonight, unless you guys all decide to wreck into turn one for me, in which case I'll throw one. But past that, I think we're gonna do our best to avoid those. Um, so anything found to be super egregious, or if you have an issue with something that happened post race, please bring it up to me, and we'll handle any sort of warnings or penalties in the post race. We've had really good luck with street stocks and ARCA on road courses, so I hope to continue that this week with you guys wrapping up the road course adventures for my asphalt oval friends. ARCA had Watkins Glen last week. Um, so I think what else we got going on today. No warnings or anything carrying over. Nobody's getting any EOLs, so we're qualifying as normal. Qualifying itself is extended to 10 minutes this week instead of the normal 5, so you guys have more time to get your 2 laps in, because the pace lap or the warm-up lap takes a little bit longer. Once everybody's done with that, we want to advance to the race session earlier, we can, or we can use the whole 10 minutes. Either way, totally fine. And for those of you that may or may not be aware, we did lose one of our dear community members, admin and friends, and Devin Cote, earlier in the month, not probably just about a week ago now. We all learned about it over the weekend. So that was quite a shock. As we know, he was just kind of one of the members of the group, and you just kind of never suspect these things, and you never know when the last time you're going to be talking to somebody. And so I guess little mini life lesson wrapped into everything is always walk away from every conversation you have, satisfied that that would be the last thing that you would say to that person, just on the rare occasion that it in fact is. And live life with no regrets, I guess is all I can say, because that's what he would want to do as well. Yeah, Kyle, no, I agree with that. We're all Tampa Motorsports drivers tonight, 100%. Um, I am more than okay with that. In spirit as well. As we know, Devin did rise to the ranks of the street stocks, just like everybody else on the oval side. A heck of a driver. And here up in the broadcast booth, I'll be commemorating lap 8, the lap of silence, where I won't be saying anything over the broadcast uh, in his memory, as we all know he loved the number 8 and he loved Dale Jr. So, um, but other than that, which I really don't think you could follow anything like that up with anything else. I think we're all good, guys. I will say we are going to have a meeting after the street stock race. It was specifically focused for the Xfinity drivers, but I would like to offer you guys to join in as well. It'll essentially be me asking ultimately the question, since we've been having a thinner field count and you guys are very respectfully racing each other as is, I would like to mess around with some settings possibly to help you guys have a little bit more fun. So the idea of running some races with AI has been being floated around for Xfinity specifically, but I would like to open the door for you guys. So we'll have that conversation post race in that channel with those folks. See how that goes. Sheriff, do we want to have a lap with the missing man formation? We definitely can. I just, so if we were to go green with the missing man in place, I would have to throw a yellow and you guys would have to pace all the way back around Lime Rock again. So I think for tonight we'll just do the lap of silence on lap 8. I think that will suffice. We're gonna do a missing man tomorrow night. I think that will be the best way to honor, because that's a series he was currently running. So I think that's the best way to handle it. But I appreciate your thoughts about it. That's a very nice thing of you to think of for him. So much appreciated for that. And I think other than that, guys, I don't really have anything else. So in Discord, there is a little button on the bottom of the screen where you can ask to speak. If you would like to, it'll kind of like raise a little hand next to your name. If any of you guys have any questions that you would like to ask that wasn't typed in chat, please go ahead and click that button now. I'll pull you up here and we can talk. Gordon? Up.
Let me see if my mic works first before I
It
ask.
does. Hello.
So about the caution thing, if there's too many single car incidents, would there be a caution?
Like I said, the only thing that's really going to draw a full course caution is if the entire field wads it into turn one. But once we get past turn one and the field spreads out a little bit, one or two cars spinning off into the grass is not going to get a full course yellow. It's just going to be a local yellow. So it's going to be pretty much, IMSA or GT3 style rules after turn one. Like I said, unless something super catastrophic happens with, 3+ cars. And even then, the chances of me catching it when you guys spread out is so thin. That's kind of why I set that expectation as I'm not going to throw one, simply because there's a good chance that I might not be watching the right car at the time it happens, so I might not catch it. So I am but one person, and road courses are a bit trickier than ovals. So that's how we're going
Fair.
to run it, right? So, but that's a great question. No, thank you, Jordan. And yeah, does anybody else have anything other than how are we going to disable the accelerator on William White's car? I don't have the answer. I checked. I don't. Happy. On up, buddy. What's up, Will?
I think Brian and William both have outstanding penalties from last week.
Oh, that's yeah.
So I think they might need an EOL.
Gotcha. Understood. I'll give him the EOL post race. See how that works.
Great,
Good.
thanks.
Okay. Thanks, Will. All right. Throwing your own teammate under the bus too. Did you hear you said Brian? Brian, did you hear that? He's throwing you under the bus too. That's unbelievable. I can't believe it. Guess I'll just laugh everyone. Oh no. Somebody better stop him. He's getting cocky. That's not good. Anyways, enough messing around, you guys. You guys can go ahead and get out of here. I'll advance the session. We'll get you on to qualifying. Thanks for joining. See you on the track. All right. I love this group. My street stock drivers are so much fun. Oh, goodness. Goodness. Right. Go ahead and advance the session. So, and again, if happen to be any folks out there watching tonight that aren't normal viewers, I will say that this isn't going to be the highest quality of streams, simply because I am also race control. So I am kind of at the duty of watching race itself and all of that fun stuff, for penalties and warnings and all that. So I won't be making it all look flashy and everything like that, fortunately. So if you're here for any of the SDK gaming fancy stuff, it's way over my pay grade. So I'm sorry I don't have it. Get boring iRacing stuff that I forget to close every once in a
I'm
while.
gonna use the restroom real quick, so I'm probably gonna be the last one to qualify. Don't advance it. Bye.
Well, he does have 10 minutes, so good for him. A few drivers taking their warm-up laps here. Kyle Foster looking awesome in that Klondike Camaro. The cool looking paint scheme. I've also got Brian Beeman in the Natter Days. Pink and flamingo and like a Starburst car, honestly. Cool. William White, the man that everybody is thinking they're going to be chasing tonight in the STP 43 machine. Starting his first lap. Been really solid. Feeds it into turn 1. Nice and smooth. He's definitely going to be
I'm
the one to
back.
catch tonight. For sure. Newest driver on the field tonight. Jacob. I'm going to murder your last name if I try to say it. So thankfully there's no other Jacob, so I don't have to say it. Jacob S. in his hot rod there. It's a neat little tourist paint scheme. Oh no! Get a little bit of grass. It's an interesting way to cool the tires off, get them all warmed up there for the start of your lap. All good though. Lime Rock's tricky in these cars. They don't make anything easy. See Harrison wrestling his for 35 machine out of turn 1's clutches as well. Got an old Rusty Wallace-esque killer genuine paint scheme with the number 35 proudly stamped on the side there, looking real good. Not too far behind or in front of him there is Mr. Sheriff. And again, these guys are solo qualifying, so they can't see each other. I can only see them because I'm watching. Sheriff will be in his way up to the line there. Is lapping or warm up possibly? Sure. Harrison again. There's Jordan. That crazy Pit Viper 23. Bouncing around and whatnot. He had a heck of a race last week at Concord. Drove himself darn near up to the front multiple times, but unfortunately found that tire wear exists at the smaller tricky triangle and definitely was wrestling that. But heck of a drive though, nonetheless. Is a great job from Jordan. And there's the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Kerry Brooks in the 777. Stout coming to the end of his second lap here. A little sideways on the final corner. Let's see what he gets across the line for his second lap. He's going to improve, but only barely. Not quite catching that always elusive William White, but man, if he's not the only one that's even in the ballpark right now. 4/10 back to Brian Beeman. And here is how we stack up so far. Most of our drivers are 1 minute or 1 minute, 1 second and some change. As you saw, Jacobs, first lap was probably hindered by him riding off in the grass here. I'm going to take a guess and say that he is going to improve pretty massively unless he had any more drama on his second lap here. Well, that lap didn't count. Now he must have off-tracked. Oh well. No worries. I'm sure that 12 machine will be doing just fine when it comes to getting underway. Sheriff is not having a fun time putting a lap down, and I don't think Parker's even going to put a lap in. So ahead and see if Sheriff can score himself a time. Slap. And he does. 101.2. Very well. Jacob is so he's currently driving. Go ahead and ask Parker. Parker, are you gonna run any laps, bud, or are you all set? Oh, Discord message. Parker said he is going to run some laps. I did get a Discord message from Parker, guys. He's going to run some laps here in a second, so sit tight. We've got 3 minutes and 50 seconds or so before qualifying ends. beautiful scenery of Lime Rock out here in a forest. Bet if you look deep enough off track, occasionally you might think of yourself in Nürburgring or something. Green hell. So, got 3 minutes left until we start this race off. Shared the link. You might hear myself echo here for a minute. This could be fun. I always do this.
How much y'all want to bet that someone is going to yeet themselves on the first lap into the chicane?
Parker might be qualified.
Okay. Oh. Come over. Oh, the link. Eh. Okay. Tell them they can't talk, so the text channel goes crazy. I hope you guys aren't reading that down there. Bunch of mishmash. Parker's gonna have his heart broken here. Oh man. Mark, I hope for your sake that wasn't the heater of the lap that it was going to be.
It was. I was up by 6/10.
That's so gutting. Oh my god.
I thought I got to the line too.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I said.
This will be interesting.
I was like, oh no.
That sucks, Parker. Wow, darn. Oh no. Only saying this because you're my rival in the championship right now, so you know.
It's fine. I'll spin at least once, or at least half spin.
Yeah, Gib, if you need to try some mic checks, bud, or whatever, go ahead and fire away. Got about 50 seconds until you need to be out there.
All right, Parker. Hey Parker, can you look to your right? Does Jordan's okay, never mind. Jordan's card stopped looking like he's super nervous.
I mean, it looks like a Pit Viper card that's actually a pretty cool paint.
Thank you. Also, Randall, I'm just wiggling. Let me wiggle.
3 sets of tires. All right, good luck, guys.
Fuck off.
Sorry, Kerry, didn't mean to cut you off there. It's not a full pace lap, guys. So you're going to get green at the bottom of the hill here. You're not going to go around the whole time. Good luck, guys. Go ahead and grab a... like the stout ones if we can get them. Here we go. All right.
Green.
We are green at Lime Rock Motorsports Park. Lime Rock Park or Rock. Turn 1 looking pretty good. Oh man, Kyle just barely catching the grass. And Jacob's going to go with him, but he is going to save it. Both of these drivers are going to recover. All you need to do is put one tire into the grass, and bad things will definitely happen. Like these two drivers will be back off and moving again now, though. Will makes it up the hill. Sheriff tries a little bit of an interesting angle there. He'll make it through. Possibly with a little bit of a penalty. Jordan Herring showing some strength early on. All over the back bumper of Kerry Brooks. Actually going to go for the challenge down into turn 1. Jacob always super aggressive at the very beginning. Kerry's going to cross him back over. Jordan all over that back bumper again. Really trying to make something happen on Kerry here. Kerry has a lot of experience at Lime Rock, though, so he knows when it's time to push and when it's not. So hopefully Jordan brings it down a little bit as you see the yellow gloves inside that 23 machine working back and forth like he's trying to row a boat or something. 1,000,000 miles an hour. Crazy. Still, though, very clean battle. Just ahead of them, Brian Beeman. Will White, first and second. Will just a little sideways on the straightaway there. Brian's actually going to capitalize off of that slight slip up for the 43 machine. He will close in a ton coming in turn 1 here. Very clean entry. Will White to the inside, though. Brian's also looking pretty good. Sticking right with him. Top 4. Still pretty close to each other. All relatively within a couple seconds. Back up a little bit. We've got Harrison lurking in P5 in his 35 machine, making his first start in a pretty decent amount of time. A good one. Behind him, Sheriff, P6, hanging out where he started. Got Will Rempe in 7th. Mr. PPK in 8th. Kyle Foster in 9th, and Jacob in 10th at the moment. Sorry, through the field. The Sheriff getting a little loose. And we see Jordan has fallen off of the back of Kerry's 777 machine and now fallen into the clutches of the 35 of Harrison. Harrison has planned for him coming into turn 1. Nothing there. Not to look now, but Sheriff is coming. Will White still out front, still holding, but not really convincingly pulling away from Brian yet. And now that Kerry doesn't have any back pressure of the 23 machine, he might try to find his way back up to those guys at the front as well. sharp-looking group of cars. Especially that one. That's a pace car, Ben. Hello. There's Will with his crazy exit line there again. Across the line, we'll get the updated splits. Brian's a little bit closer and Kerry's a little bit further. Jordan Harrison going into turn 1. Jordan probably doing quite a good bit of mirror driving right now as that 35 machine is all over him, but the 35 might need to check his too because Sheriff is there. Tight racing for these cars. Been like a lot of fun right now. Parker not too far behind them. Will Rempe right there as well. Kyle Foster. Jacob still getting around, still getting used to the street stock on a road course. Our admin didn't invite him quick enough to practice. That's me, by the way. So he didn't get the time in that he probably wanted to warm up, which is unfortunate. So I apologize to him for that. But it's definitely tricky, and pretty much everybody else here has had a lot of experience in these. So I'm not surprised to see these guys driving it around like they know what they're doing. Ryan is all over the back of Will. He is not letting him go. Gary wishing he was a little bit closer, I think, to try to get some of that draft. Harrison still working his way behind the 23 machine. Waiting to strike. Sheriff still biding his time behind them. Looking for another solid point to stay in that 6 machine. Currently, if I check my handy dandy points chart here, currently Ben Miller is leading our points. However, Ben is, oh my goodness, Sheriff, that's not the line. You look away for a second. Craziness. Good save, though, by the 6 car. But yeah, Ben Miller's currently in the points lead. That will probably change tonight. He's not here. We do have our 2 drop weeks to factor in. So the math kind of gets all crazy to begin with. You really don't know who's in what position with drop weeks until the final week is done. Will Rempe's actually P2 in the points. Parker, 3rd, and Sheriff is 4th. Kyle Foster, 5th in points currently, so see how that shakes out. Look at Parker's lap times here, running 108 to 110. Manages to pull it down pretty great. See that our leader's now on lap 8, and we'll start the lap of silence in memory of Devin. Wanted to make sure that we got far enough into the lap. I apologize. I missed the beginning of the lap for the leaders. Flying. It is still the Will White show up front. P2, Ryan Beeman not faltering. Not now, not ever. Kerry Brooks seems to have maintained this 3.5 second lead now, or 3.5 second gap. See how when I say that, it goes 4/10 the other way. Whoops. So as we'll check our lap times here, so you see Will White's running pretty consistently 1.2, 1.5, low ones, low to mid ones. All right, and Brian right behind him, same story. Kerry also in the 1 minute, just a little bit higher up the ones. Thinking he'd probably be a little bit lower. He also had some draft, just like Brian does currently. So I think the separation and the little fight that Kerry had with Jordan at the beginning of the race cut him off from that front fight. So now he's kind of on an island wishing he just had a little bit more speed. But hey, plenty of race left to go. And if I know Kerry, I know he's ready to go the distance. So paddle for P3. Paddle. That's great English tonight. Yawning and I can't make words. Paddle for P4 has been won over by Harrison, who is starting to cruise away from Jordan, who is now in the sights of Mr. Randall Sheriff. Interesting to see.
Thank you, sir.
Interesting to see what they do there. I catch that, I believe. That's right. So Jacob has let Kerry go. Yep. That's what we saw. This group of drivers will be closing up on him shortly. Hoping that he gets caught, or they catch him, I should say, in a hopeful position. Harrison gets caught out there big time. Oh, and Sheriff is going to give him absolutely no room. Go to no one, and Sheriff's going to lock the brakes. Harrison to the inside. To take the position back, and Sheriff is going to cross him back up. No, he's not. A neat little trading of positions there in turn one. Brilliant racing from these guys. Not a single ounce of contact that I could see. Very heads-up driving, and Parker's coming, guys. I don't know. You guys want to see some more fighting up here, but that 2 machine is flying up through the rankings here. Definitely going to start knocking on the back door of this group of 3 that we've been watching that's now being led once again by Jordan Herring. Parker. Looking out his front end, you can see right up here that group of 3 in question. Griff is falling off the group just a little bit. Parker has a pretty eventful turn 1. Will Rempe. Kyle Foster. Rounding out the back end of the field here. Jacob remains the only car 1 lap down at this time, but Will is making his rounds, and he has put a decently sizable gap now back to Brian Beeman in 2nd place. Are currently working on lap 14. That is your gap for the first 3 drivers. Jordan still holding his lead over Harrison, Sheriff. Now Parker closing in with Jacob somewhere in between. His way around the track here. I see Jacob courteously pull off to the side there and let his fellow competitors go through. Just getting some time in. There's absolutely nothing wrong. Oh my goodness, Sheriff. To the wall. That's not what he wanted to do. Car back up to speed here. We'll back really quick and take a look at what might have happened there. Let's see. Oh, he grabbed a little bit too much brake contact with the wall, but he'll probably end up being okay, hopefully. But he does. Surrenders 6th place to Mr. PPK. Person he stated at the beginning of the session that he is battling 4 points with, so definitely an important position for him. Probably look to fight back. See what he can do. Again, we've got, a little bit of contact there, I think. 35 machine gets a little bit too late on the brakes or a little bit too hard, gets a lock. Maybe to tap the back of the 23 machine, but nothing that's going to hurt him. They open up a bigger gap back to the 35 than anything. Battle for these two rages on further up the track. We've got Harry Brooks still hunting these two. Ryan's pulled it now back just almost under a second again. 1.087 at the line. Trying to wind that 43 machine back in. Carry now a whole 5.8 seconds back. Wishing he got a little bit more practice in this week, as he told me. Saying, quote, Will definitely has. Because you know Will, so. For him, though. Absolute brilliant drive out of the 43 machine. Cannot deny. Three pretty sharp-looking hot rods. 1, 2, 3. Jordan Harrison, 4th and 5th. Sheriff, now back around Parker. I'm sure I'll get yelled at later for not seeing what happened. Pretty sizable gap, too, almost as if there was some sort of incident with the two machine. Jacob, rounds back there. He's P10, but just currently physically located behind Parker. William Rempe, running a very quiet, conservative race back in P8. Look at his lap times here. Decently consistent, a little second or so hiccup in between here and there, but nothing catastrophic. Putting his laps together, doing a really good job. All you could ask for. Kyle Foster, something similar, had a 103s and a 104, but otherwise not doing too bad. But if you just saw in the background of his camera, Will White looking to make him the second car to go one lap down here as we get close to halfway. Capture the flag contest here at Lime Rocks Grand Prix circuit. See how Will approaches this to a gyro cam. Ride the passenger seat of Brian Beeman, looking forward at Will White and possibly how he is going to have to get around Kyle Foster when the time comes. Can't imagine Kyle would put up much of a fight. Doesn't seem like his character, but road courses are tricky. Sometimes you can't do the thing that you want to do, so. Red light glistening red on the dash as they wind up 4th gear. Drop it down, maybe 3rd. Definitely want to make sure that you aren't downshifting too much into too low of a gear. High torque in the low gears for this car, all in the rear end too. Lots of spinning that you probably don't want to see. Got the little uphill chicane. This is the tricky one. Oh, and Brian. They take a little detour through there. It was a good save. Good on you, mate. Thanks for the safe ride there, buddy, but that's going to lose you some time.
Thank you, Carl.
Not exactly what he wanted to see, but be able to get some of it back here as he's in a pretty pristine position to slingshot off of Kyle, although
Thank you,
Kyle
sir.
does pull out of the way. Surprise of probably nobody. Excellent drive. Guys all shooting into turn one. Carry now be a little bit closer after all said and done. Back in the field, we've got, name I don't see. So this is Harrison now in P4. Sheriff in P5 and Jordan all the way back to P6. It must have happened with a 23 machine. He's lost 2 positions and a ton of time on track. Now a solid, 5-6 seconds off of Harrison, who he was in front of the last time we checked in with him. Got all excited, taking a ride along with Brian that we didn't see what happened to poor Jordan. Not good.
Thanks, Kyle.
Peek at his lap times here and see, yep, last lap was a 109. That'll definitely do it. Parker on the charge now. Behind him, Sheriff looking to put distance between himself and whatever the heck's going on behind him. Can't blame him. Got to go. Jacob still rounding his laps out. Take a peek here at our incident counters here, just for fun. Currently the only driver with 0 incident points, William White. Ryan Beeman has 1, and we saw it. Kerry Brooks has 2. Rebby only has 4, doing really good. PPK, Jordan Herring with 5. Harrison, Jacob, 6. Oh, I'm sorry, and Kyle Foster with 6 as well. And then everyone's favorite party pooper on the incident side. Just kidding, he doesn't do that a lot. Sheriff with 8. A whole lot of car contact this race, I'm sure, so I'm going to go ahead and take a stab at those being a lot of off tracks, or possibly that collision he had with the wall giving him 2 incident points. That fun little fiasco. So for those that aren't familiar with iRacing's incident warning system, it's a 0x for light car contact, just kind of a warning, hey, you hit that guy, but it didn't count because it wasn't hard enough. A 1x for an off track, a 2x for contact with the wall that's hard enough, or loss of control of the car, and a 4x for car contact that is hard enough. Now, we have situations where you might get multiple things, like let's say, for instance, you get rear-ended and spin out and go off track. That would be a 4 for the contact with the other car, a 2 for the loss of control, and a 1 for the off track. So iRacing would, if it added all of those together, give you 7, but that's not in fact how it works. iRacing will say in that instance, it will take the 1 highest point value of all of the combined incidents at that given moment, so you would only get a 4x for that whole incident. Pretty neat system. Runs your licenses, allows these drivers to advance. These league races here at Downshift obviously not having that factor there because they aren't required. Races don't count for their actual safety rating. Guys, they're not official. Or something like that. I don't know. I'm involved, so they can't be official. There's no way. Back up at the front here. Go White. Back out. Trying to command his lead still. Ryan Beeman's 0.4 seconds off, so not too far.
Go on, Jordan.
I had to give time, sorry.
No, you're fine.
A little off-track incident there, and a little bit of driver courtesy between the 2 and the 23. TV Mix keeps giving me helicopter cams. What the heck's going on? Got some trackside cameras I like a little bit better. Parker's been rocking the white Kodiak, I'm sorry, paint scheme this season. Been looking pretty sharp. He's currently the highest point driver. Only has 3 races completed, and he is one of our 4 winners so far this season. So Parker has 1, Randall Sheriff has 1, Kyle Foster has 1, William White has 1. Concord last week. Looking to try to be the first driver with 2 as it stands, but not over until it's over. Got 2 very hungry race car drivers within about 6 seconds of them. Put together something impressive just about at any time, so should be interesting to see for sure. I'm going to lap 25 for our drivers. Our leaders are quite a good bit ahead of these gentlemen, but their 25th lap, let them have it.
Thank you, sir.
Sounds like the leaders are working their way around some
I'm
more
not talking to you ever again.
lap traffic. That might have been a little teammate drama. I don't know. I'm not one to judge. I would never. And of course, I maybe could. We'll think about it. Way. Ryan's getting a little bit closer again. I don't know if Will just isn't paying attention and will very soon turn the rocket boosters back on and take back off again, or what's going on. But the last couple laps, Ryan's been running a little bit quicker. 1 minute, 0.6, 0.8, and 101 flat versus 8.7. Okay, yep. So just a couple tenths lap here, a little bit there. Brian might have found something out. Brian's a pretty gosh darn fast race car driver too, though. Might not have this unbelievable amount of wins or anything in Downshift or have a championship under his belt yet, but guy sure can drive, so definitely want to keep an eye on him as we close in on the last 12 or so laps of this race. Good. Kerry Brooks finding himself up there as well. Still about 6.5 seconds off. Closing on now with William Rempe. Just recently gone a lap down. Back, we've got Kyle Foster hanging out, the pace car, of course. Harrison flying by. Pace car again. Then Sheriff. And then coming down the straightaway, we've got Jordan Parker. They would be next recipients of the Lap Down Award that William is handing out to everybody the best he can. Jacob somewhere too. There's Jacob. Seen him. He was hiding on me. Jacob will now be first car 2 laps down. Still running a fairly clean race though, so no big deal there. Just getting his, as told before. Oh, Will! Oh my goodness. Just caught that in time to watch William Rempe sail it into turn 1. Bringing Kyle Foster oh so much closer to him. That's not what he wanted to do. Mr. Randall Sheriff sitting in P5. Sharp laps we running, Sheriff.
Thank you, sir.
101, 102 is not bad. He's on an island though, so what does he carry? He's got 6 seconds back to Jordan, so no pressure for him. Jordan and Parker continue to have their little bout. And William White is still leading, but Ryan Beeman's got it down within a second. Closing in ever so slightly. He's got 10 laps left. Pretty good amount of time. Whole quarter of a race. left to maybe the 43, a little piece of his mind. Well, back in the draft as well, which is definitely going to work in his favor if you see Kerry Brooks on the horizon back there. 0.4 as he fights back. Well, everybody trying to take a piece of White's lap times there. Kyle Foster quite possibly smelling a little blood now as he can visually see back end of Rempe's 44 machine. Ride along with Kyle for a lap here and see what he sees. Gears up to fourth. Gentle to the right there. Far left as you can to wind up your arc. Onto the big straightaway he goes. William Rempe's definitely close though. Crossing the start-finish line up there ahead, so this should be interesting to see how this battle kind of evolves. Wrong volves there. I'm starting to get hysterical, I think. Oh my goodness! Look at this! Battle for the lead. Ryan Beeman had moved up right on top of Will White, and then had to fall off for a moment there, or hesitate, quite possibly, but Brian is oh so there. It's right to the outside. It says 0.6, but I think that's just the gap that had to be left there as Brian went to the outside. Thomas here to continue stuff. Gotcha. Right, because you never stop. Right, yeah, I get you. The Energizer Bunny of nerd energy in my chat. I'm going to say nerd energy because I didn't want to say anything mean. So. But yeah, so we are 31 laps. 40 lap race at Lime Rock. And I still couldn't tell you who's going to win this race. Odds are that Will White continues it, but Brian is not giving up in the slightest. Matter of fact, I think he's going to be even closer this lap as he rebounds from his little hiccup there in the penultimate of last lap. Yep, down to 0.5 seconds now. Just needs to be patient. Wait for the right time to make his move on the 43 machine as he catches him. Then it'll be interesting to see what Will White does in the draft if Brian does manage to get around him. That's a big if. Hard to pass on a road course like this, and that's when you're talking about cars that are
My bad.
ready for the road. That's not fun to see, huh?
Bridge a little late there. Sorry, Parker.
No, it's easy to do.
Parker, always a good sport. Sheriff still on Island? I think we have.
When you're evenly matched like this, it's so hard to pass the other car.
Any other
I agree.
close battles there? I think Parker and Jordan probably were the close battle. Till the little incident there has separated the two of them ever so slightly. Brian caught Will that lap 2/1000ths of a second. So 0.555 to 0.553. When I have time to race Downshift Street Stocks, you're running an Energizer car, right? Because you're like the Energizer Bunny. Gotcha. Understood. That could be fun. I'd be all about it. We'll run only road courses just for you. Brooks still trying to get it figured out there, knocking a turtle shell out of his way. Be interesting to see what happens when our leaders catch the likes of Jordan and Parker, though, as these are the two closest battles on track, and they're about ready to collide with each other. Just around 5 laps to go. This could be interesting. I knew you'd like the road courses, Tom. I know you're all about them. Kyle Foster and Will Remper. Kind of close. Still, just trying to... Jordan being a really
Thank you,
great
Jordan.
sport. Yeah.
No problem.
What a guy. Here I was thinking we were going to get some violence or some blood or something, but nope, Jordan just let him go. Which is the right thing to do. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes you just like a little violence, you know? No? Okay. My fault, huh, Tom? I've heard that a lot lately, you know? Starting to get used to hearing it. But Will put himself together a good lap or two there, and he did pull about a tenth or so back on Brian. We'll see if Brian can start to reel him back in again. Hard to do though, and that timer is tick-tocking away. You're running out of laps. One thing's for certain, Will's definitely got the most laps led bonus points wrapped up. Possible for somebody to lead 4 more laps. As that's all we have. I guess 5 technically, 'cause the end of the lap that you lead. Not the whole lap, you know. Technically. Like, realistically. Yeah. Stuff. So, closest battle on track you're currently watching. Kerry Brooks still sitting in P3, 8.4 seconds back. Harrison Ellis, 40 seconds back. Sheriff now 52 seconds. Parker's actually right in front of our leaders right here, 58 seconds back. You see the white car up there ahead of Will. Brian's almost fallen down, back down to a whole second behind Will. It's as if Will's turned the heat up a little bit, or maybe he's just outlasting. I'm not sure. But it's got to be quite the heck of a battle right now between these two guys. Battle of wishing. It's not easy lugging these big heavy cars around a road course like this. You guys got to do it for 40 whole laps.
I'll let you buy on the straight.
Be interesting if Will catches him just a little bit quickly.
Thanks, Parker.
Parker is going to let Brian go as well. Oh, Brian gets a little bit loose going into turn 1 there, but he manages to stay right with it. Excellent battle these two are having. You know, on lap 38. Yeah, new Downshift merch. The pick of Ben saying, my fault, guys. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think it would sell. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. But, like, good times, man. Could be.
Hey, you bud.
All right. Well, we are coming to the line. 2 laps to go. And Brian has closed the gap now back down to 0.6. The accordion space between these guys continuing to close back up again. See if Will's got it in him for 2 more laps. All he needs to hold off Brian for. Really looks like it's just going to be a battle between these two guys as Kerry continues to maintain a steady pace, slightly slower than these two. Now 9 seconds back, but only one in the ballpark for sure. Guys are absolute rocket ships right now. How this race will come to conclusion. We are going to be on the white flag. I think there's no better way to do it than maybe to ride along with Brian for the last lap of the race. There's the line. See how close he is to Will. Oh man, he is so there. Don't know if he's going to have enough time to put a move on him if he happens to get to his bumper. Oh man, Brian is sending it. You hear the full throttle as this car is in a full slide around that corner, just giving it absolutely everything this 41 machine has. Great chicane, feeds it third. The draft going to have a great final 2 corners to have a shot here. He's out, he's carrying a little bit of speed. He is to the back of the 43 car. Will White goes down to cut the draft, and they come across the line. Will White has it by about a car length. If that. Closest they've ever been. Yeah, 0.1 seconds.
If only these cars could draft a little better.
Oh, boy.
That would have to be at Charlotte. But good race, everyone.
Kerry Brooks is going to bring it
I'll
across
put you happy for 2
Q3.
seconds, though.
Thank you. Big run off that second to last corner. I'm not sure how.
Yeah, you gained like 2 tenths, and I saw you fill up the mirror. I was like, Jesus.
So Rep is going to hold on to P8, it looks like.
Good job, everybody.
Kyle Foster,
I
P9.
haven't finished yet.
Sheriff gets the pleasure of being the last car on the lead lap, so he gets to drive for another solid minute or so.
Not how I expect this race to go, but I'm not even in the championship fight, so, hey.
Very cool.
On to Thompson.
It was a great race, everybody. Really good stuff. Lots of fun little battles to watch there. So thank you all. Like I had mentioned in the pre-race briefing there, if anybody wants to come hang out, I think we'll just use general probably in the server to chat about the possibility of padding some of our lower field counts with a little bit of AI driving. Jump on in and put in your 2 cents. Thanks. White lighting it up. Jordan doing some donuts as well, or some burnout, I guess. Harrison and Jacob bringing it back into the pits on their probably much needed cool down laps. I'm sure that feels pretty great. After a long race like this, I 100% need to cool down myself. They get pretty intense. So, but yeah, I think that's probably going to do it for tonight's events. We'll see how the post-race shenanigans check out. Discussion on the AI driving, and maybe we'll see some artificially enhanced numbers for next week or street stocks, possibly. But my goodness, keep yawning. I'm such a good broadcaster. um, so it's another great race, though. Thank you all for joining. Keep Devin's family in your thoughts and prayers tonight as you carry on about your normal duties and we'll be seeing you all tomorrow night for our Devin Cote Memorial 150 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Arca Machines. Look forward to it, guys. You have a wonderful night, and see you next one. Bye now.